The Sky of Aeloria, a tale of unity and nature. In the far reaches of the universe, far beyond the limits of known space, lies a lush, untouched planet called aeloria. Its surface is covered with vibrant forests, vast oceans and floating islands that hover high in the sky. The air here is rich with energy, and the planet itself pulses with life, a living, breathing organism. The people of Aeloria, known as the Silvani, have lived in harmony with the planet for centuries. They are a humanoid race with blue-toned skin, pointed ears, and eyes that shimmer with an iridescent glow. Their culture is deeply spiritual, and they believe their existence is intertwined with the energies of their world. They communicate with the ancient trees that tower above their cities, seeking guidance from them when they need answers, and they live in a constant balance with the animals that roam the land and skies. But Aeloria is not without its challenges. Over time, other factions have arrived on the planet, human explorers from distant star systems who see Aeloria as a treasure trove of resources. These humans have set up research stations and mining operations, tearing into the land to extract its rich minerals and harvest the bioluminescent plants that fuel their technology. This has led to a growing tension between the Silvani and the humans, as the Silvani see these actions as a desecration of the planet's sacred balance. Among the Silvani, there is one individual who is destined to become the bridge between these two worlds. Her name is Lyra, a young Silvani warrior. Lyra is fierce, strong, and passionate about protecting the sanctity of her world. But she is also curious, often sneaking into the human settlements to observe them from afar. Her curiosity stems from a sense of unease. She believes that the humans are not all bad, that there must be a way for both races to live together in peace. One fateful day, Lyra's life changes when she encounters a human named Ethan, a scientist sent to study Aeloria's flora. He is not like the others. While many humans are driven by greed and the desire to control the planet's resources, Ethan is genuinely fascinated by Aeloria's natural wonders and has been trying to convince his superiors to protect its environment rather than exploit it. The two meet under strange circumstances. Lyra is watching over a sacred grove where a rare glowing tree, the source of much of Aeloria's life energy, is being threatened by a group of human miners. She steps forward to stop them, and in the ensuing conflict, Ethan, who was trying to prevent the destruction of the grove, is injured. Lyra takes him to a hidden sanctuary deep in the forest, where she and her people nurse him back to health. During his recovery, Lyra learns of Ethan's true motives. He does not seek to harm Aeloria, but rather to study it and find sustainable ways to coexist with the planet. As their friendship grows, so does their understanding of each other's worlds. Lyra teaches Ethan the Silvani ways, showing him how to connect with the animals of the planet, ride the majestic flying creatures, and communicate with the ancient trees. Ethan, in turn, shares his knowledge of human technology and science, helping the Silvani to understand how their planet might be saved from the exploitation of the mining companies. As they spend more time together, a bond begins to form between them, one that transcends their cultural differences. But their growing alliance does not go unnoticed. The human mining corporation sees Ethan as a threat to their operations, and they send a team to capture him and Lyra, intending to force Ethan to comply with their orders. The story reaches its peak as Lyra and Ethan are forced to flee into the heart of Aeloria, where the very source of the planet's energy, the Great Spirit Tree, rests. The corporation has begun drilling into the heart of this sacred place, and it is there that the planet's life force is most vulnerable. If they succeed, Aeloria will begin to die, and the Silvani will have no way to stop it. Lyra and Ethan must lead a daring mission to prevent the destruction of the Great Spirit Tree, rallying both the Silvani and the humans who support the preservation of the planet. Along the way, they must overcome the dangers of the wilds, giant creatures, fierce storms, and treacherous terrain, as well as their own internal conflicts. Lyra's warrior spirit clashes with Ethan's scientific mind, but together they realize that only by combining their strengths can they save the planet. In a final showdown at the Great Spirit Tree, Lyra and Ethan face off against the corporate forces, using both their knowledge of nature and technology to fight for the survival of Aeloria. As the battle rages, Lyra taps into the deep, ancient energies of the planet, calling upon the life force of Aeloria itself to defend its sacred ground. The planet responds, its animals, plants, and even the very air coming to her aid. In the end, with the help of the Sylvani, the Great Spirit Tree is saved and the corporate forces are driven back. Ethan, now fully committed to protecting Aeloria, decides to stay on the planet and help the Sylvani share their knowledge with the rest of humanity. The two races begin a new era of cooperation, working together to find ways to coexist without exploiting Aeloria's resources. But Lyra knows that the peace will not last forever. There will always be those who seek to take, to control, to destroy. And so, she remains vigilant, ready to fight for Aeloria whenever its peace is threatened. This story features themes of unity, environmentalism, and the clash of cultures, much like Avatar. It brings together an exploration of both the natural world and the evolving relationships between humans and indigenous cultures, set against a backdrop of adventure and conflict.